Okay, so now what we're going to do is learn how to digitize or make a point shape file. And so we're going to do this for structural data. So if you look in the key, these symbols here, and you'll know it from all of your mapping, indicates the dip of the bedding. And so how do I digitize this exact point, show that the dip is 10, and then display this symbol on the map? And so we're going to create a new shapefile. We're not going to use lithology or faults. We're going to go up here to catalogs. We're going to go to our shapefile folder, right click, new shapefile. We're going to call it 2526 underscore structural. You're going to leave it as a point, and you're going to edit the coordinate system. You're going to scroll down to spheroid based and Clark 1880. Click OK. Click OK. Oh, sorry, I've already got one by this name because I was practicing already. So I'm just going to add a 1 on the end of mine. You can do the same. And you can see it adds it under the table of content. But in order to add it under create features, you've got to go and stop editing, save your edits, and start editing again. And you can see here is my structural file. I've got to click on it here under create feature, and then for the first time in the editor menu there's this point option. So I'm going to go click on it, just one time click, and you can see it creates a point, and I can click on this 12 over here, and there it's digitized those 2 points. If I right click here under structural, go open attributes, I've got these 2 points. Let's stop editing and just ask if I want to save it, yes, so that I can add a heading of the dip. So I'm going to add 2 headings. One thing you can say here is, let's say structure, because sometimes it's not, you might not only have bedding information on your map, you might also have cleavage information. So say text, because we're going to either say a bedding or cleavage, so click OK. Another heading we're going to add is dip azimuth. So that's the direction in which the dip is, and it's going to be, sorry, leave it as short integer, it's going to stay a number. And the next one we're going to do is add field, and we're going to call it just dip. So this will be the actual value, so you keep it as short integer. Okay, and now let's go back to start editing so we can actually put information. This first point here, if you're not sure which is which, just click on the left hand side and it'll highlight it on the map. So this is, I'm going to say bed for bedding, both of them are bedding values. This first one is a dip of 10, and the second one is a dip of 12. Now dip azimuth, I actually don't know what the answer is. I don't know how to calculate it in Arc. From what Googling it online, I can't figure out how to do it. I don't think there is a way. Please let me know if you figure it out. So we're going to have to approximate it. Ideally you would want to go measure it on the actual map with a compass, with a protractor, or put it in a program like Geosoft and they can do it. So I'm just going to approximately put value. So the dip azimuth is in this direction, it's just west of north, so I'm going to put here 355. You'll see as soon as we plot the symbols, we'll see how wrong we are, and we can adjust it. This dip azimuth is in this direction, it's just to the right of 180, so I'm going to say 175. Okay, and I'm going to close it. Okay, now let's go do the symbols. We're going to right click, properties, and we're going to change the symbols. Just takes a while to come up. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, property windows comes up, go to symbology. Click here on categories, and under this drop down menu click on structure, which is what we labeled each section as, and click add values. So if you had different cleavage and stuff like that, it would also show up here. So we've just got bedding. Double click on the circle and let's change the symbol. And so it should hopefully have the geology loaded in here. So I'm going to type in inclined bedding and click enter. And you can see I'm going to click on this first symbol that comes up. I have a bit of issues with the size, but you can put a size of 40 and an angle of 0. Click OK, and you can see it's changed it here. We need to be able to rotate this because we don't want all of them pointing north. And so how you do that is you click here under Advanced Rotation, rotate point by angle in this field. You're going to rotate it by the dip azimuth. Rotation style geographic, click OK. Also go here to label. We want to label features in this field with the dip. So you go down here to dip. We might want to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. Let's do 24. Okay, and then we are going to click here on, click on placement properties here, and we're going to go down here to the bottom to place label at an angle specified by field, and click on rotation field, and click on rotate by dip azimuth again, rotate it in style geographic, click OK. So this is where it's going to put the label. It's going to also move the label based on the dip azimuth. Click OK, and we can click apply just so we can see what it looks like. Okay, so a little bit difficult to see with our map in the background. Let's try and take it off. Closing that window, and I'm removing this. Okay, so you can see our 12 is pointing in the right direction. 10 is a little bit off. We can go and adjust it. And you can see it's put the dip on the top side. It would be nice to rotate the dip. So if we, this is all stuff you can just play around with yourself. Okay, I'm assuming it would be under placement properties. Yeah, I think it's because we've rotated in the direction of the dip azimuth. Yeah, I'll leave you to play around with it. So I think here, place label perpendicular to the angle. I think that's what we want. There we are. Let's try it. If we click apply, there we are. That's great. And again, let's just adjust our number 10 here because it wasn't 100%. So it's a little bit too much. So if I right click here and go open table, it's my dip azimuth. And it is for this one here. So if I changed it to 53 and close my table, if it doesn't update automatically, you can zoom in and zoom back. And it's still not right. And I'm sure you can play around with this type of thing all day. Let's do it one more time. Oops. Save edits. Zoom out. And it seems to be a little bit better. So you could spend time playing around with that. So that's how to digitize structural data.